This week we have 3 planets shifting into new signs of the zodiac. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, April 14th through Sunday, April 20th, 2025. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do your intuitive energy forecast for the week. For this week, we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. This is going to be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. But before we get into your stones of choice or the astrology for the week, let's go ahead, close our eyes, take a deep breath, and do an empowered moment. So as you close your eyes and take that deep breath, and as you exhale, you're relaxing every muscle, every tendon, and every cell within your body, feeling yourself sinking into the chair, allowing yourself to focus on your breath as you breathe easy in and out. Visualizing golden white light all around you, and this is golden white light of unconditional love, protection, and guidance. Taking in a deep breath and breathing that into every cell of your body. As you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And visualize yourself as you're driving in a vehicle down a country road. This can be any vehicle of your choosing. It could be a car or a truck or some futuristic device that hovers above the road. It doesn't matter. It's a vehicle that assists us in getting from one place to another. And this vehicle does have a windshield and windshield wipers, windshield wiper blades as we know them to be on our cars and trucks. And as we're driving down this country road, again, imagine your surroundings and see storm clouds forming up ahead and overhead and all around you. And it gets darker and darker as the storm clouds filter in and the rain starts pouring down, heavily pouring down upon you, although you're safe and sound and dry in your vehicle. But you need to turn on those wiper blades. And the wiper blades are on high motion, going as fast as they possibly can to keep up with the downpour of rain. And this downpour of rain creates a fogginess in and around your vehicle, in and around the countryside. And although you're safe driving down the road, it's getting more and more difficult to see clearly. And this is metaphoric for confusion. The confusion that we may have felt in the most recent weeks and months of our lives. But realize that the wiper blades perform a specific function. They're clearing and cleansing your ability to see forward on your journey. So visualize these wiper blades going back and forth, cleaning the windshield of your vehicle as you travel down this country road and moving forward. And all of a sudden, the rain lets up. It becomes lighter and lighter. The sun peeks out through the clouds. The clouds dissipate and disappear, and you're left with this beautiful, colorful, and vibrant scenery of the countryside all around you. The wiper blades are shut off. The window is clean and clear. You're able to see ahead of you as you're driving down the road. You're able to see the green grass, the blue sky, the sun shining brightly down upon you, the colors of the flowers, the trees. Maybe there's a mountain or a stream nearby. You see all this beauty all around you because you've made it through the storm clouds. The storm clouds are metaphoric for an energy clearing or cleansing that needed to take place, and the wiper blades cleared your sight, your vision, so that you can now, as the clouds have dissipated and the sun is starting to shine again, you can see clearly, you can see more vibrantly, you can see with a more joyous and happy attitude as you're continuing on your journey forward in life. Feeling happy, feeling that happiness and that joy within you. Taking a deep breath and breathing in that light, that joy, that peace. Breathing in the colors. Breathing in the opportunities that lie before you as you travel down this road, as you journey forward. Know in your mind that good things are ahead. You can see off in the distance with clarity the beauty that's up ahead. The hills, the mountains, perhaps waterfalls or a lake. Perhaps just a vision within your mind of what it is you desire to create next in your life. Seeing and feeling with clarity and color the way forward on your path. Let's take one last deep healing, cleansing, balancing breath, breathing in that inspiration, breathing in that colorful vision. And as you exhale, when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. Let's get ready to look at our stones of choice for the special message card a little bit later. All right, so the first stone of choice, this is Golden Healer. This is a nice, beautiful, deeply rich golden color, Golden Healer. And this Golden Healer enhances joy, peace, and the spirit of oneness. It's infused with a sunshine sort of energy and good wishes. This is a powerful cleansing and healing crystal, and it facilitates the spiritual connection between worlds and the dimensions. Okay, and then stone number 2. This is, if I can get it in my hands, a ruby, a raw ruby. Looks brown, but it's actually a deep, dark, reddish color. So the ruby. This is considered one of the most powerful gemstones. It assists with a feeling of contentment and peace. The ruby helps to infuse you with love and passion for life or passion in relationships. And it's a symbol of friendship, love, and vitality. And then the last stone of choice, this one here, is called chrysocolla. And it's a bluish green stone, bluish green, sort of like a turquoise colored stone. The lighting's not that great in this video here, so you might not be able to see the true kind of bluish turquoise color here, but chrysocolla is a stone of peace, increased wisdom, and discretion. It promotes level-headedness, encouraging clarity of thought, especially during turbulent times. And if you lay the chrysocolla on your third eye, your forehead between your two eyes, the third eye, it actually opens up your spiritual clairvoyance or spiritual abilities. All right, so again, your stones of choice are the golden healer, the raw ruby, or the chrysocolla. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the astrology for the week. There's a fair amount of things going on here. On Tuesday, the 15th of April, we have Mercury, the messenger, the planet that rules the mental realm of thoughts, ideas, perceptions, communications, information, messages. It's moving out of Pisces, where it's on and off been for a really long time because it had a retrograde motion. It actually went into Aries, and then it retrograded back into Pisces. And now it's finally moving back into Aries on the 15th of April. So yay, we've got Mercury, which likes to think and perceive and form perspectives and again, communicate in all different sorts of forms. Not that it wasn't great in Pisces. In Pisces, it was very imaginative and intuitive and creative. But again, that retrograde motion, when it went retrograde over the last few weeks, may have really caused some confusion or not seeing things clearly, being doubtful about things, maybe being presented with more than one choice or path that we weren't able to make up our minds about. That was sort of what the retrograde motion was all about. It was about reviewing, reevaluating certain situations and circumstances in our life. Now that it's going back into Aries, and it stays in Aries until May 10th, Mercury in Aries. Aries is a fire sign. It's bold, it's independent, it's initiating, it's, in a sense, it's passionate as well. It's leadership oriented, take charge oriented. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we're talking about new beginnings, like a new idea, because again, this is the mental realm with Mercury. New ideas, new thoughts, new perceptions, new perspectives, new ways of communicating and networking with people, new information coming in. So this is going to maybe provide some clarity again. We're going to have more clarity than we have in the last few weeks about certain situations. And we're going to have more of an ability to direct our thoughts and direct our ideas in a particular way. We're going to have more of an ability to, rather than vacillating between possible choices, we're going to be able to settle on the choice or the decision and to be able to boldly move forward with that. Now, on Wednesday, the 16th, the very next day, Mercury in Aries is going to be connecting to Neptune in Aries. Now, if you remember or have recently watched some of my previous videos, Neptune rules the spiritual realm. And Neptune rules the unseen and the intangible. Neptune can be about magic and miracles and creative inspiration, connecting with our angels and guides and higher soul self, but Neptune can also bring illusion, delusion, and confusion, deception, feelings of being very ungrounded, and it spends 14 years, approximately 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. So it's newly gone into Aries now. It's spent the last 14 years in the sign of Pisces. It's going to revisit Pisces one last time in the fall of this year for about 3 months. But it's now in Aries. This is a whole brand new energy. And with Neptune spending about 14 years in each sign, this is hugely changing on a collective level. It's also hugely changing on a personal level, but we think of these planets that take a longer time to move through the signs, and this is about collective evolution and growth. And so Neptune being in Aries, it's like the spiritual warrior, because Aries is the warrior. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, that's the warrior. But Neptune is very spiritual, unconditional love, compassion, healing, forgiveness. And so this is like being the spiritual warrior. Now back to the aspect on Wednesday, right? It's Mercury newly into Aries with Neptune newly into Aries. And so there's a coming together here, a merging of these energies of kind of mind, logical mind, and spirit or higher soul self. So this is really having a great creative vision and being able to really, I think, ascertain logically what the next steps towards that vision. Like, what are the next steps on the path to realize this vision, this bold, active vision, because Aries is fire. Aries is a fire sign. It's bold, it's active, it's energizing, it's adventurous, it's assertive, and it's, very, very much like jumping into something. Aries doesn't really think, it just does. It's very reactionary, or just, again, moving forward without thinking, which isn't always necessarily a bad thing if you couple it with your intuition. And since Neptune rules the spiritual realm, it rules our intuition, it rules our psychic senses, whereas Mercury rules our logic, our logical mind, our ability to analyze something. So when you combine Mercury and Neptune, I feel like we're combining, again, the best of both worlds. Logical thought with intuitive vision. And so this can be a really great energy. It happens late on Wednesday Eastern time, so we'll feel it into Thursday morning if you're in the United States area of Eastern Central or Pacific time zone. But this is where we can really initiate or activate a particular new vision that we have, a thought, an idea that we have. So that's really exciting. Thursday, the 17th of April, we have Mars, which I already mentioned is the warrior, the planet of energy, action, and forward movement. And it is moving into Leo. And Leo is a fire sign, just like Aries, its ruling sign. So there's some similarities here. Leo is about leadership, and Leo is about creative self-expression, and Leo is about love. It rules the heart and the heart chakra. And so Mars is activating, Mars is an activating, forward-moving, initiating sort of energy. So we're initiating and activating our heart and our heart chakra. We're initiating and activating our creative self-expression. We're initiating and activating our sense of leadership ability, where we want to shine our light, because Leo is ruled by the sun in astrology, and the sun is where we shine our light. So Leo has a little bit of that. I want to be seen, and I want to shine my light and exude my gifts out into the world. And again, Mars is activating. So Mars is going to really kind of light the fire, so to speak, of this fire sign. And Mars will stay in Leo until June 17th. You may remember that later in 2024, Mars did visit Leo for just a short time before it went retrograde. And then when it went retrograde in the very early degrees of Leo, it went back into Cancer, and it was in Cancer for a really long time, given the first time it was in Cancer, and then when it retrograded back into Cancer, and then it went to direct motion in Cancer. So now we're ready for Leo, the Leo fire sign, to merge with the activating, fiery planet of Mars. And so it's really going to light a fire for us, I think. And again, it's there until June 17th. On Saturday, the 19th, we have the sun, which again is how we shine our light, and it rules our ego, and it rules expression and our personality. So it's moving out of Aries, and it's moving into Earth sign Taurus. So it's leaving the fiery, bold Aries behind, but it's okay because Mercury's in Aries, and soon enough, Venus will be in Aries. Not yet, but soon enough. And, here we have the sun moving out of Aries and into Taurus. So it's providing us with a little bit of practicality, a little bit of grounding, a little bit of the energy of persistence and determination and patience, which is good, because the Aries energy sometimes can be very impatient. So with Mercury in Aries, Neptune in Aries, later on in the month, towards the end of the month, actually, Venus will go back into Aries. So the sun being in Taurus is okay because it's helping us to be a little bit more grounded. Otherwise, we'd be a little bit maybe too fiery and too knee-jerk reacting with some energies here. Now, the sun will be in Taurus until May 20th. Also on the 19th, we have Mars, again, newly in Leo, and it's going to be in a positive connection with Neptune, ruler of the spiritual realm, in Aries. So Wednesday, Mercury connected with Neptune. Now on Saturday, Mars is connecting with Neptune. And again, this is like spiritual warrior energy. It's really like moving forward on the vision because both Mars and Neptune are in fire signs. So that's really exciting. And then on the 20th, Sunday, the 20th of April, we have Venus, which is still in Pisces. So she's finishing up here in the next few days, her travels through Pisces. And she also went into Aries, some weeks ago, and then she retrograded back into Pisces, just like Mercury did. They were kind of traveling together there, so that we could reevaluate things regarding our relationships, because Venus rules relationships, and our personal resources, because Venus rules money, finances, and other types of personal resources. She was also, and is continuing to, while she's in Pisces, I think, just finishing up her process of reevaluating her sense of self-value, or how worthy and deserving she feels of whatever it might be, the blessings of the universe. On Sunday the 20th, Venus in Pisces sextiles, which is a positive aspect, to Uranus. And Uranus is about freedom, liberation, change, and redirection. So there's an opportunity here of some sort. An opportunity maybe in relationships, maybe there's a chance meeting with somebody, there's an opportunity with maybe money and finances or other types of resources. When there's a sextile, we have to look for the opportunity and take action on the opportunity. So look for what possibilities there are out there with this Venus and Uranus combination. What things are coming in or showing themselves that allows you to feel this energy of change, this energy of liberation, and future kind of future vision of where you want to go with your hopes and dreams and visions for the future. Also on Sunday, Mercury in Aries is in a sextile aspect to Pluto. So again, another aspect of opportunity there. This time it's the opportunity with thoughts or communications or networking. There's some powerful transformation energies out there with Pluto in this particular sextile connection with Mercury. So look for powerful information coming in, again, powerful networking opportunities, powerful communication opportunities, could be speaking, teaching, writing, powerful new thoughts that come in for you that really assist with you feeling more empowered within yourself. And then lastly, on Sunday the 20th, this is kind of probably the most difficult aspect of the week, and it's the Sun in Taurus. And it's challenging by a square aspect to Mars in Leo. So again, the Sun in Taurus, right? It's we're shining our light through this lens of Taurus, which is practical, grounded. It's about security, stability. It's about money and finances, taking our time, having patience. But it challenges Mars, and Mars can be impatient, and Mars can just like forge ahead like a warrior without thinking twice. And it's in a fire sign right now, so it's really trying to like move forward quickly. Now, Mars can rule assertiveness, which can be a good thing, but it can also rule anger and aggression. And because this is a challenging aspect, it feels like we might be sitting on some sort of frustration. And if we don't have a creative outlet for it, which could be any form of creative self-expression, but could also be like exercise or some sort of movement of the body. If we don't have an outlet for this kind of frustration, because sometimes Taurus energy builds up this frustration because they're so patient, but it's really like sometimes frustration will build if their buttons are pushed, and Mars is going to want to activate that. Mars is going to want to, bring in some little bit of irritability or some anger energies of, come on, we got to get moving. And the Sun in Taurus is like, no, we got time. We need to be patient. And so those two energies might clash a little bit. And we might find that, again, our buttons are pushed or we're activated in a certain way that brings up some sort of frustrations for us. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides for the week. So the first card here, the first card is the Page of Wands. Now, the page is about messages. The pages are messengers. It's in the suit of Wands, which is the suit of fire, which is the suit of the spiritual. So this is, again, some sort of creative spiritual vision, creative communication, activated messages that come into play. This almost looks like a checkerboard or a chessboard or something like that, right? So it makes me feel like, we have this certain kind of strategic way of thinking, because again, the pages are about the mind. So we have a strategy, we have a plan, we're making the right move at the right time. But also, I feel like this relates to Mercury going back into Aries and connecting with Neptune. It's like the creative vision, the creative thought, the creative idea, because the Suit of Wands is very creative. So pay attention to those ideas that pop into your head. Write them down even. Maybe brainstorm, either by yourself or with other people. This could be great for networking, actually. Pages are communication, so this could be communication with another person or a group of people. And again, what is our strategy? How do we want to move forward with our creative inspiration, our creative vision, the information that's coming in from the spiritual realm that we're downloading and channeling? How do we want to move forward with that? Now, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what these 4 pillars are all about. That's part of, it's not really a chess piece, right? But it's interesting that there's 4 there, because 4 brings instability, whereas normally Wands, which is fire, is not really all that stable. Usually Wands and fire is a little bit more unpredictable. But the 4 kind of almost wands here, if you will. I mean, it is a suit of wands, but it's not the 4 of wands. It's the page of wands. But it makes me feel like we have the ability to stabilize our thoughts and our ideas that are coming in, rather than them being kind of haphazard and all over the place like fire normally would be. I feel like we're able to kind of structure it a little bit and stabilize it and communicate with a sense of grounded, practical authority, in a positive, productive way. So this is really exciting to see. There's a lot of red there, right? So it's activating the root chakra, our sense of security and stability. And it also maybe could have something to do with money and finances, because the root chakra does deal with our sense of security, which is also financial security. But either way, communications is highlighted here with the Page of Wands. All right, the next card message here is the 3 of Wands. So we're staying in the Wands suit, which is fire. So again, Mercury is in fire sign Aries, Neptune is in fire sign Aries, Mars is going into fire sign Leo. So a lot of fire this week anyway. The 3, numerologically, the number 3 is about expansion and growth. And so here we have, the 3 wands here, and the person sitting and having this vision of their ship coming in, right? So they're in more of a, stabilized, in the moment sort of mode. They're not active, they're not moving, right? But they're envisioning. They're using their creative inspiration, their creative vision, which the number 3 is very creative. It's about creative self-expression. So we're using our creative vision to imagine or visualize where it is we want to go next, what we want to do next, or what it is we want to manifest next in our lives. So we often see with the 3 of Wands, not always, but in a lot of the cards, the decks, the tarot card decks for the 3 of Wands, we see a ship in the background. Sometimes it's in the water. This one happens to be up kind of in the air. Again, it's like a vision. So here we have the vision of our ship coming in. Good things are on the way. Blessings are unfolding and happening and moving towards us. And the number 3, again, numerologically, is about abundance and prosperity. So let's expand into that abundance and prosperity on all levels. All right. And then the last card of choice, the last card for the reading. Oh, okay. We're still in the Suit of Wands, but this one is the 7 of Wands. And you can tell just by the image itself, it's not as necessarily happy and easy as the Page of Wands or the 3 of Wands, right? This person has a wand in their hand. They're trying to stave off these other wands. We can only imagine that there's like some warriors behind these wands, and they're coming after this warrior, and this warrior is like trying to stand his ground and hold his place, right? The number 7 numerologically sometimes can bring in some confusion, some things that aren't making any sense, or a feeling of why is this happening or unfolding the way it is. Again, the suit of wands is fire and passion and creativity and inspiration and the spiritual realm. This particular card is, interestingly enough, this is the symbol for Mars. And this is the symbol for Leo. Mars is going into Leo this week. So it's very interesting that we have Mars and Leo on here. And again, Mars is the warrior. And Leo is very leadership, take charge oriented. A little bit like Aries. They're both fire signs. So they both have that take charge, leadership oriented sort of nature. So again, this person is kind of defending his position, right? That's what he's doing. So we might find that. And maybe this is progressive, where maybe this is at the end of the week when the sun is challenging Mars, which is, I talked about this frustration that might build up, or this anger, and our buttons are pushed, and something of that nature is coming up for us. So this might be portraying towards the end of the week, where something is happening where we feel like we have to defend ourselves or hold our ground or stave people off from, some sort of, metaphoric attack, so to speak. And if it's progressive in nature, then we've got, again, the inspiration more towards the beginning of the week, and the communication and the networking and the new ideas. And then maybe around midweek or so, we've got, again, this expansive, abundant vision, blessings, growth, and kind of looking for our ship coming in, the blessings coming in. And then towards the end of the week, again, there's that little blip, that one little astrological thing that's happening where we might feel a little bit frustrated, like we have to fight for what we have, or fight for what we want to keep, or stave people off from invading our territory, or whatever it might be. But nonetheless, have some forethought. The number 7, because this is the 7 of wands, the number 7 numerologically is very self-reflective. So rather than just reacting, try to go within and use that self-reflective energy of the number 7 to understand on a deeper spiritual level what's happening. Why do I feel like this? Or why are people coming at me like this? Or why is the situation unfolding like this? What's the higher spiritual perspective of it all? And what am I supposed to learn through this experience? I find it interesting that his wand is the one that's shining a light on the end, right? So none of the other wands have a light on the end of it, but his does. So we are kind of, if we allow ourselves to be, we're the spiritual warrior shining our light, right? Light can dissipate any lower vibration, right? Any kind of lower vibrational emotion or thought or whatever situation. The light within us can help to dissipate that. So remember that as you go through the week. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. The first stone of choice was the Golden Healer. Special message for the week for Golden Healer people. Golden Healer people. This one's calling my attention. And it is Trust the Niggle. I always love this card. Trust the Niggle. And it says, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So this is like spirit calling to you. This is like, your guides and angels trying to gently kind of, I want to say push you, but in a nice way, lead you in the right direction. There's something that is calling you, right? Have you ever felt called to follow up on a certain career path possibility, or you felt called to keep thinking about a friend or a family member you haven't talked to in a long time, and it keeps coming back and around? That's the niggle. So whatever the niggle is, whatever is coming in and saying, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, it keeps coming up. So trust that is some sort of intuitive guidance. It's guidance from your higher self, your angels and guides. It's guidance from spirit or source. And, really tune in and feel, what is this trying to tell me? It's interesting that, we've got the woman in the middle here, and she's kind of in this spiritual purple color, right? Purple is the crown chakra. It's very spiritual, spiritually attuned, connected to the higher self. Everything else is black and white. Everything else feels like it's off here in like third dimensional reality. And here she is in the middle, in the center, connecting with her higher soul self and paying attention to her inner intuition, her inner guidance. What is that niggling feeling trying to tell you? Okay, so let's put that back in the deck in case somebody else gets it. A special message for the raw ruby people. Special message for ruby people this week. Ruby. This one's calling my attention here. This one says soul family. That's a beautiful card. And soul family says on the bottom, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So if you need support, ask for support. If you feel alone, go and connect with friends or make some new friends. This is telling you that those people are out there. Maybe you've been wanting to connect with new people, what you might call your soul tribe or your spiritual family. This is saying it's time. They are coming in. They're being attracted and drawn to you. This almost looks like some twin flame energy here, right? We've got two people dressed in white, connecting with their heads and their hearts and their hands. We've got dolphins, we've got whales that are mirroring one another. So it's this very twin flame sort of energy. We've got the pink or mauve color of the heart chakra and unconditional love. We've got the turquoise blue color of the throat chakra for communication and speaking your truth. They're sitting in a field of flowers, beauty, harmony, So again, soul family. And this might be maybe people that are already in your soul family, and maybe you've been out of touch for a while. Reach out to them, reconnect with them. But this is also, I think, telling us that there's new people coming into your life. That new soul tribe is coming in. Those new soulmates are being attracted to you. And maybe even of a romantic kind, but not only of a romantic kind, okay? So be open to whatever and whomever is being attracted into your life because it looks really beautiful, all right? And then the last stone of choice was the chrysocolla. Special message for the week for chrysocolla people. Chrysocolla. Nothing's jumping out yet. Give me a second. Chrysocolla people. Special message, this one. This one says keepers of the earth. Keepers of the earth. And it says, you are not alone. Sort of like the last card a little bit. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. This is more about your ancestors, your guides, your angels, guardian angels, archangels, the ascended masters, healers of the light. This is mostly that even though you still might desire to and be calling in people on kind of your reality level, so to speak, that are in the flesh, this is calling in your spiritual assistants and guides that's on the spiritual level, right? So we see the person kind of in a prayer position. The full moon makes me feel of priestess energy, right? Calling in the priestess energy. We've got wings. We're calling in the angelic energy. Actually, this looks like an angel up here, like a guardian angel, or perhaps it's an archangel. We even have like twin, it's interesting that there is twins here, right? We even have twin mountain lions. These are like cougars or mountain lions. And then I don't know what this is. It almost reminds me of penguins, but again, we've got pairs here, the pair of hands here, the pair of wings here, the pair of wings up here. So it does still feel like there's, this thing about one-on-one, whether it's one-on-one relationship with a person, but again, this would suggest relationship with your angels and guides. And know that, well, it does say keepers of the earth. I feel like you're working together with the spiritual realm for nature, for Earth Mother Gaia, for the animals. It's like being a steward of the earth. So there might be something, if you're not already kind of being called by that path, there might be something coming in where you're going to be called to assist the environment in some way, or assist an animal or a pet in some way, assist nature some way. Maybe going on a walk with a group of friends and cleaning up nature, things like that. That's just one way to look at this card. But remember, you're not alone, and you have a lot of spiritual help and guidance and assistance and protection that's leading you on your path. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in for the week. Remember, we're at mid-month now. If you haven't already watched the monthly intuitive reading for April, be sure to tune into my YouTube channel, Colleen Lemma, and watch the monthly for April. Thank you for your comments, your love, your support, for checking out the services on my website. I send you all much love and light, many, many blessings of various kinds of love, light, abundance, prosperity, opportunities, blessings. And until we see each other next week, namaste.